When we first met, it was like watching a beautiful daybreak, effortless, warm, and full of promise. She seemed like something straight out of a daydream. Her presence had a glow, her laughter could light up any room, and she had this natural way of making me feel like I was exactly where I was meant to be. She used to call just to hear my voice. Little notes, photos, and texts would show up out of nowhere, filling my days with light. We'd talk for hours, sometimes about deep, soulful things, other times about the silliest nonsense, and I'd lose track of time. With her, everything felt vivid and real, like we were building something solid together. Something lasting. But slowly, almost imperceptibly, something began to shift. It started small. Her responses grew shorter, one-word replies, sometimes nothing at all. If I asked to meet, she'd say work was overwhelming or she wasn't feeling great. I believed her, not because I was naive, but because I trusted her. I didn't want to be the person who questioned her every move. I told myself it was just life getting in the way. I didn't want to seem needy, so I gave her space and stayed hopeful. But the pattern didn't stop. I'd organize evenings for us, only to be met with last-minute cancellations. When she seemed down, I'd offer to come over, but she always said she needed to be alone. It reached a point where I felt like I was the only one still trying. She was out enjoying time with friends. I'd see the photos, the smiles, but somehow, she never had time for me. Every effort I made was met with a barrier, an excuse, a delay. When I gently asked if anything was wrong, she laughed it off. Said I was overthinking. Said she loved me, just needed some breathing room. So, I gave her that space. I gave her my patience, even when it gnawed at me. I stared at my phone, waiting for her to be the one to reach out. I waited at places we were supposed to meet, only to end up alone. Still, I held on. I thought love meant staying through the hard parts. Then one evening, she called and told me she had a headache and needed rest. I told her to take care and hung up. I decided to take a walk, hoping some fresh air would clear the fog in my mind. My steps led me to a cafe, our cafe, the place where we had met for the first time. I hadn't meant to go there, but something pulled me in. And that's when I saw her. She was sitting at a table with someone else, her hand resting in his. She was laughing, unfiltered, radiant, the way she used to with me. She looked at peace, like she had no idea I still existed. No shadow of us in her eyes. I didn't go inside. I didn't speak. I just turned around and walked away. That night, I sat in the stillness of my home, going over everything. Every excuse, every canceled meeting, every moment she claimed she was too exhausted or preoccupied, it all finally made sense. She wasn't too tired in general. She was tired of me. She wasn't swamped. She just didn't want to make room for me anymore. That clarity was crushing, but freeing. I stopped trying after that. I didn't block her. I didn't blow up her phone. No dramatic farewell. I simply stopped. I stopped planning anything. I stopped hoping for her to call. I stopped checking her social media. Instead, I redirected everything back into myself. I started reconnecting with people who made me feel wanted. I got out more. I laughed again, this time without forcing it. I slept through the night. I stopped questioning what went wrong, and I started healing. 2 weeks later, she messaged me. Said she missed me. Asked why I'd gone silent. Wanted to know if I was okay. And for the first time, I felt nothing. No urge to reply. No ache. Just quiet. I had already let go long before she ever noticed my absence. I had been holding on to an illusion, a version of her that either changed or never existed. She had surrounded me with excuses. So I gave her nothing more to explain. I disappeared from her life, the way she had from mine. No anger. Just silence. And that silence said more than any words ever could. Sometimes, the bravest thing you can do is stop chasing someone who wouldn't notice if you vanished. And in that letting go, I finally met someone I hadn't seen in a while, myself. And I really liked who I found.